most movements and groups are confused. Straight up. So I don't know, these are like common feminist arguments I come across. And if you want real change, it's not through protest and whining and complaints. Most movements and groups are confused. Straight up. I'll talk about feminism, but it's not just them. Pick an abortion group or a religious group. They're almost all super confused. They always have this agenda, and they're always hammering it as if this is going to accomplish something in the world. They're almost always closed to outside opinions or ideas or views. And so when you have that, when you have a group or a movement with a super strong agenda, and they're generally closed to outside views, I mean, how is that a recipe for anything good? Strong agenda, closed outside views. It's what, dogma? Not a great recipe for anything, really. And so usually, and I'm using a lot of general and usually and almost, because something that most groups do is paint everybody with the same brush. Anyone who's not them is against them, or anyone who has a different view doesn't belong. And so I could say all feminists throughout my whole speech, but then I'd be just like them. So if you want to argue that one gender is better than the other, or one gender is held back and the other is allowed forward, and all these kind of different things, you kind of have to understand nature, Mother Nature, the world, the physics of the universe, DNA, evolution, because all these things play a role in how a species operates. DNA-wise, men and women are pretty significantly different. I mean, you could argue that it's just one chromosome or something. You could also take a look around and run a bunch of tests, and you'd find out they're pretty significantly different. It's really tough to argue otherwise. Taking two totally different things and arguing that they're equal is generally crazy. They might have equal value, which is an argument you could make, but they're not equal things, right? A 500-pound weight is not equal to a feather. They're designed different, and they serve different purposes and do different things. But, you know, a feather helps the birds fly, and the weight helps the weightlifter lift. So, like, they have value. They might have equal value, but they're not the same. So anytime I see a feminist group arguing that men and women are the same, I'm just like, seriously? You're confused. Super confused about like life and reality and how things work. But if they're smart enough to argue that men and women are of equal value, that's a bit better. But then they'll try to argue that since men and women are equal value, there should be an equal amount of female comedians as men comedians, or there should be an equal amount of female scientists as to male scientists. Or again, this is super crazy, right? Like, there are countless insects on the planet and even more bacteria, and they serve a function in our ecosystem. They're super valuable. They serve their purpose. But to argue that there should be as many of them as there are elephants, it makes zero sense, right? They serve different purposes. Why would one have the exact same in amount as the other? So I don't know. These are like common feminist arguments I come across. Men and women are equal. There should be an equal amount of this and that, or there should be exact equal pay in this industry or that industry. All of these arguments just don't make sense. That would be like me arguing that I should get paid as much as a female porn star or a female supermodel, right? Guy supermodels and guy porn stars are not paid as much as female porn stars and supermodels. Or I should be allowed to be a male stripper and get paid as much. You don't see protests about this every day because guys generally aren't as insane about this stuff. We understand how life works, and we get that it's fine for some people to excel and be valued higher in certain professions. If you have a curvy body and you're like living sex on legs, probably you'll get paid more in sex industries. Crazy? But if an angular masculine dude trying to break into a female dominated industry, like they're bred for it, built for it. They're evolved to be visually appealing, and like, I'm okay that I'm not that visually appealing, and I'm okay that I can't win massive amounts of money in visually appealing industries. It's okay. If I wanted to change that, like, I could be the first guy to do that, but I wouldn't do it by protesting. I would do it by showing off, by doing it, by like turning up and actually beating them. If a woman wants to be in the weightlifting industry or something, she doesn't need to beat other women. She needs to beat a male weightlifter. And that's like a doable thing. But you gotta trump lots of years of evolution and stuff. And you don't do it by protesting. I think the weightlifter we should get a handicap, or we should get, these are the things that I come across personally as feminist arguments. And they're not good arguments. They come from confused people who don't understand how anything works. And if you want real change, it's not through protests and whining and complaints. It's by showing a new way, by being better, by turning up. If I really wanted to change the stripping industry and be the highest paid male stripper, I'd find a way to do it, man. I would. You can tell. I hope you can feel it. I wouldn't be out there whining, protesting, arguing, debating, starting movements. I would be becoming the best stripper that ever existed. I would be turning on guys, girls, hamsters. I would be turning them all on. I'd have better floor show and better pole work and better whatever than anybody on the planet. I would know, because you can set your mind to anything and you can do it. I believe the feminists can have whatever they want. I just never see them go about it in a productive, efficient, successful, healthy way. And usually they have hundreds of confused beliefs about how life and humanity and society and nature function. And they try to go against that. And that doesn't mean you can't be trans. It doesn't mean you can't change your gender. It doesn't mean you can do all that stuff. Totally. But you gotta work with nature. You gotta work with law of attraction. You gotta work with manifesting. You gotta work with beliefs. You gotta work with yourself and develop yourself. And you can do it. You don't do it by pushing against other people and fighting and sticking to dogmatic beliefs and starting narrow-minded, strong agenda groups. I'm not sure if this even answers your question. It's a pretty general question. I get if people get pissed off about this and I get a bunch of haters in the comments and stuff. I don't expect people to understand what I'm saying here, even though I think it's pretty simple. But even then, it just sort of proves the point, because hating in YouTube comments is not going to change anything. And it's a giant waste of everybody's time. But yeah. I'm not against a female president. Great. That'd be fantastic. We had Obama. That was a big move. Now we can have Hillary. Sure. For Hillary to be the first female president, she needs to be better. She needs to be the best. She needs to be good. You have to admit that. If you want to run an Olympic race, you have to be faster than the other people. I don't care what gender you are. If you want to win a political race, you have to be better than the other candidates. I don't care what gender you are. And so, for Hillary, it would help if she acknowledged that politics is and always has been a popularity contest. Arguing with that would be pretty silly. It's literally everyone voting. Both smart people and not so smart people are voting on whether they like you or believe in you or want you or buy into what you're offering. Popularity contest. And if you look at Trump and Hillary, I'll tell you which one handled the popularity contest better. I'll tell you which one was the better contestant in the popularity contest, and it has nothing to do with gender. She's just not good at it, man. Oh, it's rough, dude. I don't know how much she pays her people and advisors and stuff, but whoa. I could have advised her. I mean, even if there is some secret agenda of male domination and patriarchy going on, it still doesn't change anything. Your job is still to sway the opinion of all of the people. So how do you sway the opinion of a secret male dominated patriarchy? It's challenging, but doable, but she certainly wasn't trying. This is not gonna work, man. Yeah, I'd be happy for a female president. Yes, be the change is right. She has to be the change, but be the change by being a better candidate. Study trends, study persuasion, study influence, study how the opponent's winning, study how previous opponents have won, study other fields where women became the first XYZ. Learn from their examples. I guess you could say Rosa Parks. She became an icon, but she didn't become the president. She didn't really win. She just inspired everybody else. So yet she's kind of like a martyr. She took the fall for everybody else. So even then, right? Hillary has to be really careful who she learns from and who she models and who she imitates. And I've never really seen anyone win a popularity contest with facts and intelligence. I'm pretty intelligent and I ain't that popular. A charming celeb or someone who makes witty remarks or Donald Trump, he's pretty popular. Popular enough to win. So yeah, you need to put that feminist stuff aside. if you want to win, if you want to be something, be the first female president, be the biggest female comedian or biggest comedian in the world who happens to be female, you got to put that stuff aside and focus on how to win, how to be better in whatever game you're in. I mean, sure. If you look at Instagram's also a giant popularity contest. It's literally built on the like or the upvote or whatever. Almost all the top accounts are women. Even if their accounts get shut down, I see them pop up again, just as popular, just as fast. And you could say, oh, they bought all their likes or whatever you want, but they're all women, except for Ronaldo. Because on Instagram, they don't try to be guys. They don't pretend to be whatever. They don't have some crazy agenda. They just use what they're blessed with to win, to get the attention and hold the attention and get the comments and get the likes. They win the popularity contest. How's Trump going to compete with Britannia Razavi or Kim Kardashian or whatever? Like if a smart, savvy woman uses her natural evolutionary advantages, she could dominate, man. She could win whatever. And like, I see it happen all the time. If she tries to out guy a guy and out logic the logicers and out science to science peeps, it's going to be a lot harder. And I'm not saying it's not doable, right? That's never my thing. Anyone can do anything, and I believe in you. I believe in all women. I'm just saying, like, it sets you up for a major challenge. And you don't see me trying to out curvaceous a curvy chick. I don't come to earth and be like, man, you know what? This sucks. I wanted to win on Instagram. I can be curvy too. And I just start trying to turn it up and out curve the curvy models. No, they have an evolutionary advantage. And I don't fight that. And I'm not upset about it. And I'm not protesting it. I love it. I love that we're all different and we all have different value and we all provide different things in different ways. I love the variety of earth and life, but I embrace my strengths and I don't get upset about my flaws or weaknesses. I've noticed that women who embrace their strengths and don't worry about their flaws and weaknesses are the ones who win, and they win pretty big. Basically, yes, a smart, savvy model or porn star could win the popularity contest, could win a political race. I've never really seen anyone step up and do it. So ask yourself, to create a great masterpiece, does it take a painter and a canvas, or like a sculptor and clay, right? To create a great masterpiece on the planet, it takes a combination of things, the teamwork of things. And if the paint rebelled against its role and was like, no, I'm not going to be paint. In fact, every time you hit the canvas, nothing's going to happen, right? You'd be like, what the f***? Like, or if every time you went to paint, the canvas hopped away, right? There's no teamwork there. And you can see like each part is rebelling against its function. Anytime we fight our natural role and function, that's where you get pain and frustration and suffering, and you definitely don't get a masterpiece. And the whole world can see the masterpiece. Like we could, oh, hell yeah, like it gets created. It's just obvious they're a perfect fit and it was fantastic. And they both did their part really well to create something greater. And so the same thing goes for men and women, or masculine partners and feminine partners, right? Like it could be non-binary, it could be lesbian, it could be gay, whatever. In the partnership, everyone has to be at peace with whatever they're doing in any moment. And I'm not saying there's like rules or whatever. I'm just saying there's a big difference between fighting your role and fighting your contribution and fighting your value, or embracing it and shining in it and fully performing what you're meant to do. And it's individual for everyone. You got to figure that out for yourself. If you're feminist and submissive, great. What does that mean for you? You got to figure out what your role is and embrace it and find other people who resonate with it, because it's a giant planet. But anytime you're fighting or resisting, or no, I've refused, I'm not a submissive, but inside you know you are, or no, I'm not a feminist, but you kind of know you are. Everyone has a conscience and everyone knows what's right for them deep down. And if you don't, a few experiments will quickly show you the truth. You gotta feel what feels good in your heart and resonates with you. And most people just don't do that work. And so then you get all this pain and trauma. Anytime you're labeling yourself as part of a group, society will have expectations of you, which may or may not be fair or comfortable. But it's kind of on you. Like if you go pick up that label and include yourself as part of that group, now you got to deal with the consequences. That was your choice to pick up that label. Some people are rejecting the label of woman now, right? No, I'm non-binary. I'm he, they. They could be trying to take gender fluidity forward, or it might just feel right to them, or they might have some agenda, or it might not, but fine. Now you've taken away the label of woman from yourself, but now you've picked up another label, the non-binary label. So society will have certain expectations of you now. You'll have to deal with those. And it's fine, there's no right or wrong. I'm personally extremely careful about labels that I pick up. And if they ever stop feeling right to me, I put them down. And people can call me whatever they want. Traitor, group jumper, whatever, I don't know. Wishy-washy, confused, unclear. But just like with anything in life, people are going to say stuff, but you'll only feel good if you stick to your guns. So hopefully it's clear that I have given this a lot of thought, like more than almost anyone you will meet. I've given it more thought than Jordan Peterson. I've given it more thought than Hillary Clinton. I've given it more thought than whoever. And so I can give good advice on this topic. If you made it this far in the video, you probably feel like I might have something worthwhile. If you want coaching on this particular topic or any other, check out my weekly Q&A in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Keep rising.